Welcome to SkillBuilder 1, Question Attack Strategies. Question attack strategies are strategies that are used to find and use information. The purpose of this video is to start to help you to think about the importance of the question and making the question more important than the answer. We need to start looking at really attacking the question and ensuring we're answering the right question, because answers keep changing with the volume of information we have now. First, you have to change how you look at questions. You might have heard the expression, knowledge is power. Well, no more. Now the power is in the ability to find and learn the information you want. This makes understanding the question, so you are looking for the right information, your best tool to get where you want to go. Look at the question as a source of information, the most important element, the start of a process, and the beginning of your work. Look at the answer as only the end of the process, something that will change with time as information changes, something you find, not something that you have to memorize. How we look at knowledge is changing. We need skills to find the current, relevant information we need to make the best decisions. Einstein said, "If I had an hour to solve a problem and my life depended on the solution, I would spend the first 55 minutes determining the proper question to ask. For once I knew the proper question, I could solve the problem in less than 5 minutes." I want to read that one more time because it's a really, really important concept to consider. If I had an hour to solve a problem and my life depended on the solution, I would spend the first 55 minutes determining the proper question to ask. For once I knew the proper question, I could solve the problem in less than 5 minutes. Following Einstein's advice, we need to really look closely at our question before we jump to an answer or solution. There are 4 steps to finding the right or best information. Number 1, read. Number 2, analyze. Number 3, search and decide. And number 4, answer. Step 1, read. Read the question completely and thoroughly. Which question word do they use? What are the key words in the question? What are some of the other words that you know that mean the same as the key words? Synonyms. Are there multiple questions within the question? Question words. There are many words we use to make a question, but the 5 most important are who, what, where, when, and why. Others include how, is, are, do, and does. This seems elementary, but many people mess up on finding the right answer because they don't pay close enough attention to the question being asked. They answer who instead of when, or how instead of why. What is tricky? What tells you nothing? You need to search the question closer to learn what to do. What can play any role? What time is it? Actually means when. What method did you want me to use? How? What place do we need to go? Where? What person do we need to talk to? Who? What was your reason for doing that? Why? What time did we need to be there? When? What should we do with this equipment? Do. Step 2, analyze. There are 2 parts of a question. What is asked and what information is given. You can actually get a lot of information from the question. For example, how can I use Google Maps to get from my house to the airport using public transit? You learn that there is a way to use Google Maps to get directions using transit. And if you didn't know that before, you do now. You also learn what to do, what information you need to find. What is the question being asked? What is the process or way you would use Google Maps to find this information? Try using this step every time you have a question to answer or a problem to solve. Doing this step alone will increase your accuracy considerably. Step 3, search and decide. This is the most difficult step because we all have the Jeopardy game mentality. Push the buzzer and answer fast. You may have a few steps to find the answer. The more steps you have to take, the harder the question. Be ready to think your way through it. The easiest questions, or the first level of questions, is the locate step. You see in the question exactly what you're going to be looking for in the answer. One step. The next level of difficulty is when you have to cycle through a few steps to find the answer. So you might have to find a synonym, or you might have to find an answer embedded in a text. The third level of difficulty is the integrate phase. This is where it gets very complex. This is where you might have to find information in one or two different places in a document, or one or two different documents to be able to come to your answer. And the last and most difficult is when you have to create something. When you have an answer that is not obvious on the paper, where you have to create a response for yourself. When you have to keep cycling, integrating, or creating, this will take a lot longer to do. Keep cycling through or looking until you find the right answer. When you arrive at your answer, you then have to decide, is this the best answer for this question? Step 4, answer. Evaluate your answer. Are you giving the information that is requested by the question? Does it make sense? And use your common sense for this. If it does make sense and you feel you have the right answer, yahoo, you found it. If you have not, then you have to refer back to the document and search again. This is the process of finding the best answer that is important, not just getting an answer. Let's practice with an actual workplace task. This activity was developed using a real workplace document and actual workplace tasks. Chainsaw and skidder operators work in dangerous conditions, where safety can mean life or death. In this case, this is a report from a fatal accident. In the workplace, we rarely read a document without a purpose. Most of the time, we are going to a document to find an answer. This is the opposite of school, where you read the text and answer the questions after. At work, we get the question first and we search the document for an answer. Task or question 1. Who was killed? Let's break this down. There was someone who was killed. Who was killed is what you're trying to find. Scan the document for killed, died, and similar words. Locate hook tender who later died from his injuries. Easy so far, huh? This is a locate question. You can find the information directly. Task 2. Where was he at the time of the accident? There was a location where he was when the accident happened. What was that location? So breaking down the question into there was, the information you find, and what was the information you need to look for. Scan for hook tender, working, doing, and similar words. Locate the parts of the sentence that contain these answers. There might be more than one place to find this answer. Find near the bottom edge of the tree line, directly below the yarding operation. Decide this is your answer. Do you see how this is a little harder? You have to find the information in more than one place. This is a cycle question. Task 3. List 3 safe work practices that might have prevented this accident. Breaking that question down, there are at least 3 safe work practices. And what are those 3 practices that could prevent this accident? Scan the picture and the text. Determine what happened. The hook tender was standing below the yarding operation. The other person gave the signal to move the log. The movement dislodged another log. The log rolled on the hook tender. Find the bulleted list and match each point with the events that led to the accident. Never work directly below the yarding operations. Stay in a position that will put you in the clear of all possible moving logs. Never give the go-ahead until you are sure there are no workers in the area where the logs might accidentally roll. Do you see how this question is more complex? You have to understand the incident, read the safety procedures, and connect the correct safety procedure with the incident. This question is an integrate question, and it takes more thinking to get to the best answer. I hope this video has given you some strategies you can use to analyze questions, to find and use the information you'll need to complete your tasks. Using these strategies, what will your first question be?